was made. The Tampa Bay Rays are on a winning streak of 2, but still a winning streak.
We'll make it one more, and then I can get on that boat. But it was good to see the boys win. Let's see if they can keep winning in Detroit.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making Locked On Rays your very first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Rays is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And you can email us anytime with mailbag questions, or if you're interested in becoming an advertiser or sponsor of the program, lockedonrays@gmail.com. If that's too complicated, you can always send us a Twitter or Instagram DM as well. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, it is where the game starts. So the Rays are on, I guess, winning streak is probably a little bit too boastful, but they've won 2 in a row, which is the first time that they've done that since July 13th and 14th, respectively. I think it was the Red Sox and then the Orioles, but the Rays beat the Blue Jays on Wednesday by a score of 3-2, and then they put a solid beat down on the Tigers 6-2 last night. So the question is, can we make it three in a row? You're playing a crappy, crummy team in the Tigers, so let's not play down to the competition, please.
That's the issue, though. That's exactly what's been happening this year with this Rays team, with that type of competition. They've played down to it, and you look at the AL Central as a whole. I've called it a joke. Maybe that's a little bit too harsh for AL Central fans to hear, as an AL Easter, where I think that the Orioles are the worst team, and yet they could get in the hunt for the wild card. Yeah, I'm gonna say the AL Central, and the NL Central even more is more of a joke than the AL Central. But guess what? The Rays are actually 9-13 against the AL Central this season. Why? Why are you 9-13 against a division that should not even hold a candle to what you have? Oh, no. Rays fans are going to say, well, the injuries. I'm sorry. Like, even the AAA squad that sometimes we have seen the lineup be filled with should beat up on the Detroit Tigers, should beat up on the Kansas City Royals, should beat up on everybody else in the AL Central.
I think if the Rays don't at least win this series against the Tigers, I know it's on the road and all that, but I might not watch another Rays game the rest of the year if they don't win this series against the Tigers. The Tigers are so distraughtful, and they were my pick. I'm actually really disappointed in them because I thought that they would at least have a fighting chance to be above 500 before the year started and possibly squeak and sneak into the playoffs just based on the momentum that they had at the end of the 2021 season and then the free agent additions and the prospects that were on the come up. But the Tigers, historically, this is a historically bad offense. Dead last in OPS at 616. Dead last in homers. 63 home runs as a team. 29th in baseball in home runs are the Indians, AL Central team, with 84. We complain about the Rays and their power ineptitude. The Rays have 95. The Tigers might not hit 100 home runs as a team this year across 162 games. And it's not like, they got a big ballpark, so they must be getting a lot of doubles and triples. No, they're 28th in doubles as well. And I did a very, very quick lookup on this. Intern McGee will have to get him on the case. But this, if they continue on this track which it looks like they are based on their roster. I mean, you go up and down the list. I think everybody has batting average 205 to seize or something like that. But 616 OPS would be the lowest team OPS, at least in the last 5 years. And maybe in the last 10, 15, 20 years. Because if you go back at least, and we can wipe away 2020, whatever, but
right.
2021, 2019, 2018, it's usually the Marlins that are at the very bottom. But they would have the bottom team in OPS would have an OPS of like 665, 670. Never this low.
Yeah, no, and it's happening to across the league. Like, it's not only a Tiger thing, but what is happening to the Tigers is like ridiculously
Right.
bad. If you look at the Rays perspective, actually, these are facts found by a friend of the program, Austin Holloway. He was saying that it's baffling that the Rays are currently playing game 104. This was like a couple of days ago, and that the team is statistically still in the running for the worst offense race team ever. From worst to best. In 2012, they had a 683 OPS. In 2022, they have a 686 OPS. So now look back at the Tigers, just at 616. We are suffering looking at watching this race team off and be like, oh my gosh, they're really struggling. And it's like 686 and it's like one of the worst ever. The Tigers are a 616. Yeah. Like, that is so bad. Very well put. So yeah, going back to your original thought of if the Rays don't win this series, you won't watch Rays games this season. I know it's in tongue in cheek, but you have to win 3. I'm sorry. I hate having to like say that, but how can you? I know baseball, any team can win on any given day and all that, but you know what happened when the Mets faced the Miami Marlins? They beat their bum because the Mets are going to the playoffs. I know, again, the Rays fans are going to be like, injuries. That's a good lineup yesterday. That was a good lineup. Like, one of the best lineups we have seen in a long, long time. And we saw it produce. My goodness, Brandon Lau has been on fire since coming back from the IL. He's hitting 314, 3 home runs. I think one of the cool things that happened in yesterday's games were 2 things with Brandon Lau. Number one, the fact that he actually was smiling whilst playing. Yandy was like, tagging up, and apparently they had like a little run and say like, hey man, why are you tagging up? That was 14 rows up. Like, you just circle the bases. What are you doing? And you could see them like having that nice interaction at home plate. That was really cool to see Brandon Lau actually smile during a game.
Right.
Love it. I'm here for it. I'll subscribe to it. The second thing that happened to it, Brandon Lau, was in his interview with Ryan Bass after the game was over. He said that the IL stint actually helped him out because he got to figure out some things about his swing, about himself as a person, and then that he also talked to Tyler Glasnow, and that they started talking, and he learned a few things about himself. So this might have been a great reset button for Brandon, and then he has just come out of the gate on hot, and that's exactly the best case scenario that we needed, is for Brandon Lau to be the Brandon Lau that we hoped as soon as he came back.
Yeah, and it's good to see a guy like that smile and the team begin to have a little fun and enjoyment. That's a big thing as well. Make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And going on right now is the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale. Save up to 40% on classic fine jewelry pieces and 25% on engagement ring settings. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what is inside. So shop stress-free and find your forever piece by going to BlueNile.com today. Continuing on this topic a little bit, and I remember we had this debate several weeks ago when Miggy Cabrera was named an all-star, but you make a good case. You make a good argument. 39-year-old Miggy Cabrera with bad knees is the best hitter, the most consistent hitter on this Tigers team with 4 homers and a 268 batting average. Like that is the point we're trying to make with the
Oh,
Tigers.
he went 0 for 4 yesterday, so that was actually a 272 batting average
Okay.
yesterday.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I actually read a quote, a very sad quote. He was talking to some Venezuelan journalist, and he was saying that sometimes he wakes up with his knees hurting so badly that he is even thinking about if he's going to go through with
Yeah.
2023, which it would be his last guaranteed year. Very, very sad. So maybe that's something hush hush, and that's why we saw the two legends being thanked, because maybe that's something
Right.
that MLB had been aware of.
Yeah.
But going back to the game, I really like Jeffrey Springs, so I think we should again. It's not a normal thing, Rays fans. It's not a normal thing to poach a guy from the bullpen, stick him in the rotation, and him be successful. Like, I know it happened with Drew Rasmussen. That was weird. I
Yeah.
know it happened with Jeffrey Springs this year. That's weird. Like, that's why we're spoiled, man. Rays fans are spoiled. Like, they just think that we can do, like,
Right.
that's not normal. So kudos to Drew Rasmussen. Kudos to the front office for getting these guys from other teams, knowing what they could do with Drew and Jeffrey, and of course Drew and Jeffrey too, for putting in the effort and the confidence in themselves and all that, because Jeffrey had been kind of struggling since the phantom IL, or the restricted IL with his kid was sick and all that. Like,
Right.
he didn't come back, and he wasn't pitching really well against Kansas City or
Yeah.
Cleveland. I think he was 8 hits allowed, 6 hits allowed. He was allowing 2 runs each. No,
And
not
that goes
yesterday.
back to the human quotient. Like, how can you focus on baseball? How can you focus on your career and your
Yes.
livelihood when you have a child that's just been born and is going through such a rare condition? So that is where you have to kind of put an asterisk next to why he may have struggled and why
Yeah.
it takes time to get back into the fold. Speaking of pitchers, the Rays added a pitcher off waivers the other day from the Miami Marlins, 30-year-old Jacob Yacobonis. And not surprisingly, Yacobonis has a pretty solid fastball and a pretty solid slider. So is he the next guy, the next wave of who is this dude with a 7 ERA nearly that hasn't done anything in his major league career, or hasn't really? He's been kind of a vagabond and just not really putting anything together consistently. Is he the next Lewis Head? Is he the next Hunter Strickland? Is he the next John Curtis? The next Hunter Wood? Perhaps the Rays work their magic, work their Krabby Patty recipe, and get Yacobonis on the right track and utilize him for what he's worth, and then probably dump him after the season.
Well, Yacobonis already is an all-time last name.
Yeah.
So everybody should just say Yacobonis, 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 and you're just going to be smiling after you say that 3 times. So that's number 1. Number 2, fastball slider. Boy, have we heard that ever again?
Yeah.
Ever before? Yeah. It's the Matt Whistler effect. It's the Chaz Rowe effect. JT Chagua, right? Sinker slider guy. Diego Castillo. Yeah, so they love their sliders. They love
Yeah.
that combination. You're going to see it a lot. And yeah, I have no problem at all to get from the bargain bin of relief pitchers, because I know the Rays have if you do not trust what the Rays can do with pitching in the year of baseball 2022, you have not watched a lot of baseball, and you have really should not deem yourself to be a Rays fan if you do not already trust what they can do with pitching. With hitting, not so much. I'm not there. I'm not just going to blindly say, oh, they brought Yu Chang, he's going to be amazing. No. With pitchers, you bring Yacobonis. I like Yacobonis already.
Right.
I know that he can do something.
Yeah, they're like the Ulises. You'll appreciate this as the biggest Venezuelan NFL fan ever. That's documented. The Rays with pitchers and relief pitchers are like the New England Patriots with 5'8" undrafted white guys that how do they turn so and so into a Pro Bowler, or how does this guy as a 7th round pick or picked up off waivers from a Division III school, he now has 70 catches for 950 yards and 10 touchdowns. Like they've got the system down. So I don't even pay attention to it anymore. Of they've added this guy with a 5.5, 6.5, 7 ERA, hasn't done anything. Like at the trade deadline where they added what was the guy's name? Walker and Clevenger. I had no idea who they are, but
have we gotten a pronunciation guide there yet? Cleve or Clev?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get one from a listener. I'm sure somebody will reach out, probably a relative of his or his parents or something, because people like to hammer us on the last names. That's been an ongoing
And
thing.
you know what? I actually found out it's not Jose Siri. It's Siri. It's got an accent on the second I. So, just for fun, food for thought, people. Yeah. Siri. I mean, Siri,
I can't.
But people are not going to do that. I know that.
Yeah, it's just call him Jose, I guess, or JS or something like that. But yeah, so that's the situation with Yacobonis, and continuing on pitching for the next little bit. Just a quick question and inquiry. So evidently Tyler Glasnow is traveling on the road with the team to some extent.
Yes.
Prop bet action. Will Tyler Glasnow pitch in a regular season game for the Rays this year?
100% yes. And this is something that I'm glad you noticed him in the dugout, because he had been saying that in the Chris Rose rotation that, they don't really let guys injured, that, to go on trips and all that. But the way that he's spoken about it is that they could let him in, or like if they're working on something with Kyle Snyder, that then maybe he could. Well, boy, he's in Detroit. So it seems like things are ramping up. We've seen the videos. He's doing bullpen work at the Trop. I think it's getting soon. I think they're keeping it hush because that's like your X factor there. I mean, if you can use him as an opener, if you can use him as a high leverage guy. I mean, dude, Jason Adam has been great. Pete Fairbanks gives you need the Pepto-Bismol next to you, but he will usually do the job. Now you add a Tyler Glasnow in that bullpen. Right. Now we're talking 2015 Kansas City Royals, like we're bullpen. Like we're talking, a shutdown bullpen that you've now 4 innings you need from your bulk guy, 5 innings, because then the bullpen can close it out. So it gives me a lot of hope, and I love the fact that you said pitch, not start, because I think he will be a bullpen kind of piece. For the Rays in September. Now, I do want to give a shout out to our buddy from New England who probably loved your whole Patriots thing, Ty McCann, who witnessed a no-hitter, which is great until you know the whole story. It was a no-hitter from the AAA, the Woo Sox, no-hitting the Durham Bulls. And he was there in attendance. He gave us a couple pictures, a video. Josh Lowe was the last out. He drove a line drive to left field. He got caught, and so the Durham Bulls got no hit. But our friend Ty McCann was there, and apparently Intern McGee was the pitcher, one of the starting pitchers. So, Intern McGee, what are you doing?
Yeah. Intern McGee comes from a very wealthy family, so he can just travel to minor league park, and he should be interning for us today, but took Friday off. That happens. Who knows? Maybe I don't know the Durham Bulls schedule, but if you're able to go to those games, you might see Tyler Glasnow in a rehab appearance at some point or time. And again, we have to temper expectations. And Tyler Glasnow's back. That means he's going to pitch 7 1/3 in his first outing. No, it's 1 inning, if that, to start, and then go from there and build off of that. Look, it's
don't build. No.
Just use the 1 inning. Okay.
No. Don't put that in people's ears. I don't want people to be like, it's going to be like 2019. He's going to progress from 1 to 2 to 3, and then by the time no. Get him in the bullpen. The starting rotation is full, locked. I just need Tyler Glasnow every 5 days for 1 inning. That's all I ask.
Okay.
That's all I ask.
I was saying build. I mean, maybe you disagree with this, but build from like a max of going from 1 inning to like a max of 2, 2 1/3.
Okay,
Like bulk,
that'll
like
okay.
light
That's
bulk
okay.
guy, light
Okay,
industrial manufacturing, light bulk.
like Jalen Beeks bulk.
Exactly, but probably not even touch 3 innings. But the thing about Glass now is the fact that he's young, he is in incredible shape, and he is incredibly serious about his craft in preparation in rehab, and that counts for a whole heck of a lot as well. And that could be a really, really great morality boost for the team of, oh, Tyler Glasnow's back in the fold to some extent. So
Yes, it would. And you know what? If I had green Skittles and would have to say, is he going to pitch in 2022 for the Rays? I would put him on betonline.net because that is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs, people. Find all your favorite sports, events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. Find reviews and news of every league, including MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports wagering information, from live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts. They have us covered. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline, where the game starts.
all right, it is a Friday, which means we have baseball trivia and Name That War. Ulises, you have trivia. Very curious to see how this shakes out.
Well, I felt like you needed a fastball down the middle, and so
I
here it
do.
is. Here it is.
I've had a rough couple weeks here, so yeah.
Here we go. Fastball down the middle. Bang, bang, trash can. Name the top 5 home run hitters for the Rays in 2022. Go.
Okay. Top 5 home run hitters for the Rays. No particular order, just the 5.
If you want to be a little fancy, I think
Okay.
we would all appreciate that, Kevin.
I'll say Isaac Paredes.
#1 with, you know how many?
13.
14. Very
Okay,
close.
14.
Yes.
Interesting to see if he gets to 20. He might be the one guy that gets to 20 for the Rays this year. Randy Arozarena, I would suppose, would be number 2.
Randy Arozarena, #2 with 12.
Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that there's not another Rays player that has double-digit home runs this year, but this guy is probably getting close now that he's back and healthy. Brandon Lau.
Very good, and you're right. There are no more players with double digits. Brendan Lau is tied for 3rd after last night with 8.
Okay. So I've got 3 so far. Okay, so there's another person tied for 3rd with 8. I'm going to say, I mean, I think this guy's just top 5 in general. I don't know if he's tied for 3rd, but G-Man Choi.
You would be correct. He is tied for 3rd. He has 8 as well.
Okay. Not known as a home run hitter, but let's see if he's up there. Yandy Diaz.
Incorrect. Strike 1.
Strike 1. I want to say David Peralta so bad, but he just needs more time.
I don't think you're gonna get either 5 or 6.
5? I'll say Kevin Kiermaier.
You did get your brethren from Indiana. KK with 7. Yes.
He's on a roll.
KK
He was our
rounds it
power
out.
hitter. He was the team leader for a time before he got hit, and he still is,
Top 5.
Exactly.
He's top 5. If you wanted to know who top 6 was, it was a very surprising name, Francisco Mejia with 6 bombs. So that's
Okay.
very cool. There you go. That's the fastball down the middle today.
Very good. Kevin Kiermaier would be the cleanup hitter for the Detroit Tigers. Injured or healthy, I think they would still take him at this point.
Yeah.
Austin Meadows still has 0 home runs, by the way, for the Tigers. That might have to be a topic for another day. Okay, name that war. Remember, actually, no, not going to give away a hint. I'm just going to say this guy you've certainly heard of before. And I want to know what his career WAR is from you. JD Drew, what is his career Baseball Reference WAR?
It's a good I used to be scared of this guy going to the plate. As a fan, not when I was pitching,
Yeah.
obviously. I don't know if you guys remember my pitching career. But
That
yeah.
was Victor Zambrano.
Yeah, that was Victor. Or Carl. No. Don't Victor me. Give me Carlos. Come on. Give me the quality one. Give me the quality Zambrano.
You're related to
Thank you.
both. So
Actually, my dad met Carlos in an airport, and they were like stuck in the baggage claim, and they talked for like an hour about ball. It was awesome.
wow, that's
I'm
awesome.
so jealous. Yeah, he was like the coolest guy. Yeah. Okay. JD Drew. JD Drew. Give me 2008 vibes. He was a solid hitter, let's say, but I think he was only a solid hitter for like those like 4 years. And even though he had like probably like a 10-year career. So I'm going to go with 4 times 3 is 12. Was he a good defender? I don't remember him being one. So I think if those other 6, he was just like a 1 WAR per season guy, that would be 18 WAR. But that damn sandlot of Fenway just gives everybody a higher WAR because you can just get doubles off that freaking thing. Stop romanticizing Fenway Park. That's all I'll say. Okay. Romanticize Wrigley. Wrigley is America's ballpark.
Romanticize Tropicana Field.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't like AC in Tampa Bay in the middle of August?
Yeah.
Come on. Okay. Enough meandering. JD Drew's career Baseball Reference WAR is 19.2.
Remember how I mentioned, I think it was on an episode with Klosky, Kevin Kiermaier may go down as one of the greatest players to not make an all-star team?
You did say that, yeah.
And how I went through names like Eric Chavez and Tim Salmon and several other guys who put up very, very wonderful careers, but didn't quite get the recognition or appreciation that they deserved at their
That's
time.
right.
JD Drew is in that category. Now, he did make a single all-star appearance.
Red Sox, I bet, with the Red Sox, right?
The Red Sox. But JD Drew, you can add him to the list of one of the more underrated players in baseball history, sort of like Brian Giles.
No, are you telling me that I should have doubled? I should have doubled?
I'll give you another guess. Guess
the
again.
fact that you said that already, and I know that Kiermaier's WAR is at 33. 19.2 was too low then. Man, okay. 35?
JD Drew's career BREF WAR is 44.9.
Wow, massively underrated him. Maybe that's my Tampa Bay Rays bias right there, 100%.
Yeah, and possibly because he played so many years in the National League as well, and he got his start at the height of the steroid era in 1998, and you've got guys hitting 50, 60, 70 home runs, and the JD Drews of his day get a little bit not as appreciated, if you will, but man, he really had some sort of career. 125 career OPS plus, 873 career OPS, 242 career homers, 278 career batting average, played 14 years in the league. Just consistency across the board. He only had one season where he had more than or 30 home runs or more. So it was a lot of 280 batting average and 18 to 24 home runs. And that usually doesn't get you an all-star appearance year in and year out, but it gets you a roster spot and it gets you money too.
No, good for JD Drew and his family and his career. Like JD, my bad. I definitely showed my Rays bias there, and I only said, "Oh, he only probably had like 3 good years." Nah, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, "Nah, I didn't know, but I didn't. I had 3 amazing years, and then the rest were pretty darn good." So, okay,
Yeah.
very good. That's see that I gave you a fastball down the middle, and I was expecting one too, and then the arm slot. You got me with the arm
Yeah.
slot. You had a circle change. Did not see it. Okay.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes I gotta,
Yeah.
Oliver Drake the thing, if you
Yeah.
will. So, thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your very first listen every day. Now make your second listen, the Locked On MLB Prospects podcast with Lindsey Crosby. That is also free and available on all platforms. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you next week.